Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dale Sonic. I'm the Director of Safety here at ACE Doran. Joining me today is Jason O'Brien, Manager of Hours of Service. And then we have a special guest, three-time Driver of the Month, Driver Advisory Board member, Jerry Wise is on the phone also. Jason, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Dale. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing great. And Jerry, how are you doing this afternoon?
Very good. Glad to see 2 days without rain.
I understand, especially here in Ohio. It's a blessing. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with our metrics to see how we're doing. First up, we'll go over the BME ACE scores, or CSA scores. Unsafe, we saw a 10-point decrease. We're down to 58%. Hours of service, it ticked up to 77. Driver fitness, down 1 to 58. Our controlled substance and alcohol, no change at 1%. Vehicle maintenance saw a nice 2% decrease to 81. And then our crash indicator is down 4 percentage points to 28%. On our ACE Win Government Secure side of the house, unsafe went down 1 percentage point to 3. That's a great job, everyone. Hours of service up 1 to 12%. Driver fitness, no points. Controlled substance alcohol, no points. Vehicle maintenance, we did see a 6% increase up to 38. So we'll just need to make sure we're watching our stuff out there. And crash is at 0, so no score there. That's great. I do want to talk a couple of things on CSA while we're having it up right now. I wanted to talk about our unsafe violations for the BME A side. This month, for the month of June, is particularly challenging for us. We've only had 3 unsafes falling off for the month. We were doing really well up until about the last week. In the last week, between both ACE and BME drivers, we've had 5 violations. ACE drivers, we've had 2 speedings, 6 to 10, and then a 15 over that came through. BME picked up a seatbelt, speeding in construction zone, and a handheld. Those are all high point totals, so I'm anticipating our score for the unsafe to move up next month since we have a lot more points coming on than what's going off. I just want to remind everybody when it comes to speeding, you need to be aware of speed zone changes. Our drivers who did get the speeding, ACE drivers who got the speeding, they said that the speed limit had dropped and they just didn't pay attention and wasn't realizing that the speed had dropped, and that's how they got their tickets. I would tell you, you need to keep aware of that, especially if you're running the same routes, and you can't just keep with the flow of traffic. My feeling is the officer's always going to pick out the commercial truck and to get them pulled over. Obviously, they can write a roadside inspection, still give a violation, and not give a citation, so be mindful of that. Vehicle maintenance, it looks like during the 72-hour blitz, we did really well. There wasn't a lot of inspections coming through, but the days right afterwards, it seemed like maybe more inspections were being done than normal, but we did pick up quite a few post-blitz inspections, which we had vehicle maintenance points. Was the typical type of items. We were getting written up for lights, brakes, and tires, so we need to pay attention to those vehicle items to make sure we're not getting additional points. Once again, if you notice the defect, you need to repair it. Don't delay it and wait till you get back home. Once you see it, you need to do something with it right away, and that way it'll minimize the risk of getting vehicle maintenance points right after that. All right, so moving on to our claims side. Through the month of May, I guess, our claim goal for the second quarter was at $126,000, and we're sitting at $98,000 worth of claims. So obviously we're up a little bit more than we were over the previous year. The one thing I do want to just stress over and over again is make sure you have enough following distance. We did have another rear-end accident last night. One of our drivers collided with a car, which pushed it into another vehicle and then a third vehicle. So it was a 4-vehicle rear-end accident. After talking to our driver, he said he was having mechanical issues with his brakes when it came to stopping. He was going at a relatively low speed, but obviously we still had enough force to move one vehicle into the next into another. Those are the most significant accidents we have here. Besides the damage that's being done to the vehicles, you also have to be concerned about individuals getting injured. seeking attorney representation, which, drives up the cost. So just, you really got to make sure you have enough falling distance. I know a lot of people think it'll never happen to me, but clearly it does, and we need to be prepared and make sure we have that falling distance great enough so we can come to a controlled stop without an issue. All right, so we'll talk about some of the good things here. I'd like to talk about the drivers who did get clean inspections here in the last 30 days. So James Haynes got a clean inspection out of Ohio. Mark Watson did 2. Michael Newland had a Kentucky inspection that was clean. Dustin Sauger had Illinois. David Kochi, Texas, gave him a clean one. Michael Murtaugh, Ohio. John Baxter, Texas. Richard Irvine had one out of California. Great job there. Bernie Franzalio had a clean one out of Arizona. James Harris, Montana, had a clean. Ramon Rodriguez, Michigan. Danny Terry, Arizona. And James Haynes, again, with Ohio. On the government and wind side, we had John Carpenter had a clean one in Iowa, and Dayton Williams had 2 clean inspections through California. So great job, everyone, with those clean inspections. Here at the end of the call, we will go ahead and draw for the koozie. Still got one, right, Pat?
Well, it's not a koozie.
Oh,
it is a Yeti.
Yeti
Rambler.
Rambler.
I think it's what it's called. And they're very nice cups. I wish I had one.
Thank you for correcting me. I just know it's a Yeti. So, all right.
A koozie is not that exciting. A Yeti is very exciting.
Thank you, Jason. All right. Was there anything that you wanted to mention here, Jason?
But yeah, I did also just want to remind you guys, if you have any questions or safety tips, it's *3 for that. That'll get you into the queue, and we'll bring you onto the call here. Some of the things that I might want drivers to mention today, if you have any stories about having a dash cam and how it saved you, I'd like to hear that and have you share that maybe with some of the other drivers if you'd like. So go ahead and hit *3 for that as well.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
To talk about some other things, Dale was mentioning how we were picking up a couple of maintenance points for vehicle maintenance over those days with inspections. And I did want to remind drivers that if you do get an inspection and you have a violation on it for any type of maintenance, that it's imperative that you do a DVIR on your log that day, whether it would be a paper log, Keep Trucking electronic log, or Rand McNally or OmniTrax. You'd want to go ahead and make sure that you complete the DVIR, saying that, an officer said that you had a defect for whatever defects you had. If it's 1, it's one thing, but if it's 6, you got to type in all 6. And then you need to respond to that, your DVIR, saying that the defects have been corrected once they are corrected, but that's something that just has to be a part of the log. So if you have any questions on how to do that on any of the systems, please, of course, just give me a call. I'd be happy to walk you through it. Dale, looks like you want to mention something on there.
That's a good point. I know sometimes when we talk to our drivers, they say, well, I fixed it there on site. That's great. You still need to mark it on the DVIR regardless if you fixed it on the spot, because the defect was noted on a roadside inspection, so it has to reflect that on the DVIR for the day.
Right, yeah, even if it's something that's correct. If you fix it on site, it does still need to be noted that there was a problem there and that it was corrected.
Yep.
So it's important to have that paperwork part things done when getting those DVIRs. The other thing that I did want to mention is dash cams. We had a waiting list. We still do, and I got in a box or a shipment this morning of dash cams, and 6 of those are already spoken for, so I'll be sending those out to the people. I'll be calling you for where you want it to be sent. But, of course, I got more than 6 in, so if you'd like a dash cam, today would be a great day to call in because I'll be shipping a lot out tonight, and I'll just add you to that. The KD Lynx cam is the one I'm referring to right now. We always have the Keep Trucking in stock for the most part at this time, so if you'd like either one of those, you can. Now, I have had some drivers speak with me about the Keep Trucking cam, and they feel like they're unavailable in the sense of downloading your footage, and I do want to let you know that that is not the case. The Keep Trucking cam does plug into your box with a USB cable, and you can remove that USB and plug that into a computer, and it'll act like any other flash drive that you'd plug into your computer, and you can download footage just like you would off an SD card and another cam. So it's not just something that we have access to. You as a driver with a Keep Trucking cam do also have access, but just by plugging it into a computer and transferring those files either to your computer or wherever else you'd like to have them. So I did want to mention that. But if you'd like to get either type of camera, Keep Trucking or the KD Links, please just give me a call today. Like I said, I'll be sending it out a lot tonight, so it'd be a good time to get in on that. And, of course, dash cams are good because they can exonerate you in accidents. It's an unbiased witness, somebody that's there that's not on your side necessarily, but often will end up being on your side, showing you that you were in the right or didn't do anything wrong. So a great idea, I think, to have on board any vehicle.
Oh, most definitely. I just did want to mention with thinking of hours of service here, we did have a driver here the other day, Jason, who had a roadside inspection, and his tablet holder that uses as a mount, he was broken, and he just had the tablet onto the side and was written up for, the tablet not being mounted. Just want to remind everybody that the DOT still looks for that, so you got to make sure your whatever device you're using for your hours of service on your ELD, it is in a matter in which it's being held by something and you can see it within your field of sight within your cab. So, that particular driver said it just broke and he hadn't got a replacement. That's a violation. So make sure you've got that and replace it fairly quickly. So the other maintenance thing that I noticed is we did have a driver written up here just the other day out of Ohio for the retroreflective tape on the mud flaps. I hadn't seen that in probably 3 or 4 months, but you got to make sure you have it there on the flaps, and if it gets beat up, ripped up, you got to replace that stuff. It's one of those easy things to overlook, but obviously the DOT looks for it from time to time, and those are the easy ones. I really don't want to give away points on stuff like that. So is there anything else you had, Jason?
That was pretty much it for me at the moment.
Okay.
So I don't know if you'd like to move on to Jerry, or if
I sure would. Jerry, how are you doing this afternoon? Great?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Right. Would you mind talking a little bit about, you're on our driver advisory board and just how that kind of works within the organization?
Yeah, for those of you who aren't aware, we have a thing called the Driver Advisory Board. We meet twice a year. There are 3 members from ACE, and Don Lay Miller and Violet, I want to say Helfrich?
That's it.
We meet in Georgia twice a year, and we discuss driver company issues that either we submit or, you guys can call us and give us issues to bring up down there. We have all the heads of departments at Bennett listening. And so we discuss that kind of stuff, hash it out. Then we also get to test and try out the apps before everybody gets them, such as the Bennett Mobile self-dispatch. We tried that for a couple of months to try to work out the bugs, help Bennett with that. And the social feed, we had it a few months ago. We're working it out. And then most importantly, what we do is we govern the Driver Relief Fund that you guys are so good about donating to. ACE holds the money, but we vote and decide who we pay out to and how much and what for. And believe me, I've been on the board for a couple of years, and we haven't said no to anybody yet. But we determine how much and for what. If you have a death in the family, immediate family, you're off because you're sick. We don't want your costs to keep accruing for like your monthly stuff. If you're hurt out on the road, recovering your truck, getting it back somewhere, it's your money, and we decide how to dole it out and who to give it to.
Which I know there's been quite a few requests over the years for that fund, and the fund's only been around for 2, maybe 3 years tops.
Yeah, and the big drive will be on for the Driver Appreciation Week. I know that in the past years, Mrs. Taylor matches the funds that we collect over that time. So whatever we bring in, she matches it and doubles our account. And so we're never worrying about running low on funds. But you guys can we can do one-time donations. You can have a payroll deduction. However much you want to give, and it's pretty simple. Like I said, it's your money. So if there's a issue, call Cincinnati and let them know that something's going on. Otherwise, we won't know about it. And they email us, call us, and we discuss it and get something taken care of as fast as we can.
Yeah. I think last year during our campaign with Mrs. Taylor's help, I think we raised over $20,000 last year for that fund. That's pretty sizable for considering how large of a group we are.
Yeah, and if you have an issue with us, like I said, for us to take up with the company at those meetings, our phone numbers are on the driver's IG page. I can't tell you exactly where, if they're in resources or something like that. But and then occasionally you'll see our phone numbers on the newsletter. And I've helped plenty of drivers too with your e-logs. So you feel free to call me anytime. Just don't call me after 9, 10 o'clock at night. I probably won't answer.
You can call me after 9 or 10.
That was Jason, everybody. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate you dialing in, Jerry. I really, appreciate your insight and stuff. I know we've had different conversations over the past couple of months, so you're doing a great job out there, and just keep it up, all right?
Thanks. Yeah, so feel free to anybody call me with your issues to take up down there, because the couple of years I've been on the board, the only issues I brought up down there is things I've observed. No one ever, really gives me anything it's not a complete, just complain session. It's good suggestions, bad suggestions, things about agents. It's whatever you come across. If it's a personal issue, that's different. But it's something, company-wide, something we can change, or a suggestion, something we could do better.
Yeah, and which is kind of find weird, because most drivers I know aren't shy about voicing their opinions on stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So, all righty. Thank you, Jerry. So, once again, star 3 for anyone who has a question or tip. Let's just, did you have something, Jason?
Well, I did have a question for you, Jerry. Now, you mentioned social feed, and that's kind of newer,
Yep.
and I feel like a lot of our existing drivers that haven't seen that, like going through orientation, may not know what that's really about. With you doing, like, kind of that beta program with it, how have you found out that it's working for you?
Yeah, matter of fact, I just went ahead and the beta program we did didn't save any of our stuff. I just went and actually did mine this week. On the Bennett mobile app, if you're using Bennett mobile, the first line now says social feed. You tap on that, you can put in all your personal information for the company, and it takes things like your equipment, areas of the country you want to run, rates that you'll entertain, how often you want to be home, the size of tarps you carry, so agents can look at that and, use that when giving you a call or something to know what they're looking for, if they're calling the right guy, or, because like it has different regions of the country, and mine clearly says, like no Northwest, no Southwest, and no Canada. So, it gives you the option to put those things in there, and has like an emergency contact number, and, it's so agents can look at you, and the office can look at you and know who you are, and, without actually having, to call you and pick your brain every time.
Kind of like a dating app.
Yeah, sort of.
Well, yeah, it
swiping,
sounds like a lot of. So it's a good way to kind of get to know agents throughout the company, and for them to get to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the agents are in there too. There's freight posted in there too, I think. I haven't really gone through it since it's been done, other than putting my profile in. But, I did notice there was some freight in that app too.
So, clearly it's a good thing. That way their agents are going to call you for stuff that you want to do, and not just, kind of spin your wheels on stuff you don't want to do.
Yeah, and you can save them as the agents as favorites. They can save you as a favorite or whatever. Because if you have a specialized piece of equipment and you're the one guy that runs the main or something, then they know they can save you, and they know to call you. That way, that you slip their mind.
Cool. Well, I just want to remind everyone, star 3 for a question or tip. Looks like we did have a caller in, but they dropped out. So we'll let some people hit star 3 and get queued in here. While we're doing that, a couple of housekeeping items I just wanted to follow up on. Remind everyone that even though we have annual inspections now, you still need to turn in your quarterly maintenance reports. We are now at the end of the second quarter, so please start turning those in. There was a fair amount of drivers who didn't turn in the first quarter either, so we will be contacting individuals, reminding them to get them both turned in so we are current on our maintenance reports. The other thing is that besides that, we are at the end of the quarter for safety meetings. If you have not completed one now, I'd suggest you please do so. There's only 4 or 5 days left in this quarter also, so go to driversigg.com. You can go ahead and view it there and answer the questions online. I've had a couple individuals tell me there's been some glitches with that. I apologize, but please bear through it and make sure you get all 4 questions answered so you can get credit for that meeting. So, you got some people for me, Patrick? Oh, wow. All right. Let's go ahead and start with Michael Cox. Mike, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing well.
Hey, I just got one question. It's about the mud flap reflector tape.
Yep.
Is that actually on the mud flap or on the bracket?
It depends how yours is on. I've seen some that have it. If it's like a simple metal piece holding the mud flap, they'll stick the reflective tape right on the mud flap below that. But then there's fancier ones that have it hanging on the bracket. So I don't remember the regulation off the top of my head. I just know you got to have it there near the mud flap. So if you don't have any at all, it obviously puts you in a position where you're going to get a violation.
Okay, yeah, I got mine. Mine's on the bracket. When you said mud flap, it kind of confused me a little bit. But yeah, mine's on the bracket. Is that just for the tractor?
Yep, for the tractor.
Okay, I'm cool then. That's all I had.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. Friend of the show, Jake. How are you, Jake Mogowski? Jake.
Yeah. How you guys doing today? In the sunshine, I hope, for a change?
Yeah, we've actually got some sunshine here in Ohio.
That's a beauty. I'm in New York, and it's the same up here. Hey, I saw an article in Overdrive, and they were talking about Keep Trucking. And apparently those people were tracking trucking companies' movements, all their trucks, and they're selling that information to people. And there were several company owners that were saying that they have found, since they started with Keep Trucking, they're finding all kind of other trucks appearing on their routes. And now, I guess Keep Trucking has bought a logistics company, and they're saying they're not going to cross the information, but it sounds like they would. Now, I'm still on Rand McNally. I'm thrilled with it. I hope, who knows, they may be doing the same thing. But I think it's something maybe it would be good for you folks to take a look into before they know where every one of our trucks is loaded and how many times a week. And we have dash cam video of what we're loading and where it's going and how long it takes, because I think that'll fight us in the derriere, as they say.
I had not heard that, but it looks like Jason is searching for that information to see if there's anything on the web right now.
Well, I know I have heard things like that.
Okay.
I don't know, the details of any ELD company would have certain access to all of that information. And there was something that I did read about that as well, like 6 months ago, where they were talking about that information may be for sale. But I believe that there was also legislation, if I could say the word, that was being put into place to where they would prevent them from selling that data. But I have heard of that. That could be something that happens.
Yeah, I would think from an integrity standpoint,
it showed up on my phone this morning, Jason. So I don't know, but I just figured I'd pass it on to you guys, because I'd hate to see a whole bunch of people coming in and cutting the rates that we have left.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, just besides us, all of Bennett has moved over to the Keep Trucking platform. We'll have to look into that, but I would hope that they'd think twice about doing something like that.
Yeah, the trigger was the logistics company, and I can't remember what they're calling it, but that would be really, really special. So,
yeah.
Okay,
right,
I'll quit bothering you guys. Appreciate the time. Okay, take care. Thank you.
See you, Jake.
Bye-bye. All right, Michael Lecouchier, how are you?
Hanging in there. Yourself?
We're doing great. We've got some sun here in Ohio. Where are you at today?
I'm down here by Glenn's place and stuff. It's about 90 degrees and sunny today.
About what we have. What's on your mind?
It's referring to that Keep Trucking. I've had more problems with that critter than Carter's got liver pills as far as staying on the internet. I get a phone call, it goes off and everything else, and I got to stop and restart it all the time. Now, what I'm wondering is, can I go out and buy an ELD 50 by Rand McNally, plug that in there, and have it hooked up to your system, or can I just email my blogs once a week to you all, or what?
Well, I mean, those are some good questions, and I'm sorry I haven't heard from you. If you're having trouble, and if you are, please, give me a call, and we'll try to fix things like right away for you. But as far as like purchasing like a different ELD, with how the accounts work and who would have access to it, if you were to purchase your own log, wouldn't work out for like our systems. But I'll definitely give you a call either later today or tomorrow, and we'll try to work out the problems that you're having with the Keep Trucking. I would say that's unusual to have any types of issues like that. But if you're using your phone for your log, and depending upon your phone carrier, they may turn the data off while you're on a phone call. I know certain carriers do that, so you can't be surfing online unless you're connected to Wi-Fi while you're making a phone call. And of course, when you're on the road, you wouldn't have a connection to Wi-Fi most likely. So that would happen. But it's not a problem with Keep Trucking necessarily. That would be just how the phone's set up through your phone carrier.
No, I'm not. My phone is Bluetooth to the tablet that I use in the truck. I don't have it that way, and it's got access through my phone to the internet. And I've watched my internet go through the roof on it, and I've got unlimited, and they're kind of going off my butt on it. But it don't matter. I mean, I'm not using my phone for phone calls or anything else, but when the internet is going on my phone, and all of a sudden I'll get a text message from you all from the safety, or I'll get a phone call or whatever, even though I don't answer it, it automatically kills the Keep Trucking. Now, I stopped to take and try to get fuel at one place and entered it, and it wanted the GPS coordinates and everything else like that, and I could not get it fired back up because no internet service in that area. So I'm running into that problem where there is no internet, everything goes dead. And now I'm still driving, and it won't pick me back on up until I stop and have to reboot everything all over again in order to get that thing to fire on up if I stop for fuel or whatever else. It's giving me nothing but a grief here, and that's why I was wondering if I can just go out and buy my own Rand McNally HD100 or whatever and get rid of that problem.
Right, yeah, and unfortunately, no, it wouldn't quite work out like that. Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, Jason, you know what I'm doing with mine. Would you mind if I told him that, how I run the Keep Trucking one?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
If you want everybody to do that. I do the same thing with Keep Trucking, but I keep it connected to the Keep Trucking box through the Bluetooth on my tablet, but I only connect to Wi-Fi off my phone once a day at the end of the day to send my login daily or first thing in the morning. Because when you're using your phone as a hotspot like you are, that data is not unlimited. Only the data you use on your phone itself is unlimited. And when you hotspot...
Right, and that's what I'm using.
Right.
My tablet is connected to my internet on my phone, and that's what that Keep Trucking requires.
Right. Well, see, I use mine in offline mode all day, and at the end of the day or beginning of the day, I connect it to my phone and send my login, let it stay connected for about 15 minutes, and turn my Wi-Fi back off. It has a bar across my Keep Trucking that says unable to connect to the internet, but at the end of the day, if you connect it to your Wi-Fi on your phone, then it'll send your log and update you, and then you can turn it right back off.
I don't know.
He's kind of talking about something that's a little bit different than what you were talking about, but he's talking just about another option that we have. And I'll give you a call and let you know all about that. Is there any other questions that you had?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for calling in. And like I said, you'll be hearing from me shortly here, all right?
Thank you, Michael.
Yep.
All right, looks like we have Ken.
Yep.
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good.
What's up?
Oh, I just got a question on, I use my iPhone for my logs.
Okay.
And, of course, I just throw the iPhone in one of my cup holders and don't use a tablet, so.
So you're asking if you're using your phone for
Yeah.
your logs, would that have to be mounted?
Right.
Well, yeah, and the answer to that would be yes. It would still need to be mounted. From a DOT officer's point of perspective, I would feel like the majority of officers, if they just saw it sitting in your cup holder, would say that that's not mounted. Now, they do, I know this is going to sound silly even when I say it, but they do sell mounts that fit into cup holders that will hold your phone securely, so it won't move in the cup holder at all, and that would be something that would be acceptable, and kind of keep it in the same area.
What about mine's got, can I use my belt clip to clip it to my steering wheel?
Probably not the steering wheel, but maybe like your visor or something like that. If you have your visor down, just so long as it's connected something and it's not moving, I would say that would be okay. If you had it in your belt clip and it was clipped to your visor, and it didn't have like a real chance or opportunity to fall off, we wouldn't want that falling on you when you were driving or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question.
Yeah, it's just one of those regulations where, they look for it from time to time, and then, people get caught because they don't have it mounted as the regulation deems. So.
Yeah, that was a good question there, Ken. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, Robert Salter, how are you? Robert, you on?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm
What's
about
on your mind?
20 miles from home in Joplin.
All right.
Taking a little home time with my grandson. He's been out here running with me for the last couple of weeks.
Is it sunny there in Missouri?
Pardon?
Is it sunny there in Missouri?
Oh, yeah, it was a little rainy this morning when I delivered in Springfield, but right now it's nice and sunny and it's 84 degrees. Woohoo! I'm loving it. On the, mounting your GPS system, one of the easiest ways, and people don't realize it, but there's always a little bit of space on your dashboard somewhere. Velcro on the back of your phone and a little piece of Velcro on the dashboard works great. I've got my tablet. It is Velcroed to the dashboard. I never have to worry about it. It stays there all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good suggestion.
That'll do it. Yep.
It's cheaper, and it's just you don't have to worry about the plastic breaking because they do. The vibration will cause it to break over and over and over.
Yeah, that's one of our owner-operators got the violation of it. That's what happened. He said one of the arm pieces broke off, and
Yeah, and those brackets, those mounts start getting real expensive real quick.
Right. That is a good suggestion.
The thing on the Keep Trucking, they're not the only one that have heard about them trying to sell the data. My brother is a former DOT agent, a contract DOT agent out of California, and I guess down there there's some more issues about the Keep Trucking too. A lot of the guys are getting away from it. Even the thought of them trying to do that scares me. I'm staying with Rand McNally. Jason, I'll send you the one back that you gave me. I did not like the way their reports or anything worked, so I'm going to stay with the Rand McNally. I'm just more comfortable with it, and I feel it's more secure.
Okay.
And the fact
I want to
I
bring up one thing real quick.
Sure.
Because it's not, just so everybody that's on the call understands, and it's not something that Keep Trucking is doing. It's kind of the whole ELD industry. So, like, if it's Keep Trucking or Rand McNally, they all have this information, and they're all trying to see what they can do with it. It's kind of like, and I don't even know if we should tackle this kind of thing, but it's like Google, right? So Google makes the majority of their money by selling your information if you use Google, a browser. That's how internet companies make their money. So now it's kind of like an ELD company has this information, and they're trying to potentially look to do the same thing. But it's not a localized problem at Keep Trucking. It's every ELD carrier. And that's why I think I'm pretty sure there is some legislation that's been trying to get them to prevent selling that data to anyone. But whether it's Google or Apple, that if you use an iPhone or an Android phone, or even Microsoft and the Internet, Microsoft Edge or Internet Explorer, all these companies get your information and sell it, and that's a big part of their business. So I don't want to particularly pick on Keep Trucking, acting like there's some evil company trying to do this. There's a lot of companies that are in the digital realm that do these things. It's not just a keep trucking thing. Ray McNally, I'm sure, is trying to do that very same thing.
Okay. I had a question for Jerry. He's on the driver advisory board. One of the things that my wife and I have looked at is our statements at the end of the week from, if take the automatic ones or if I request a statement from ACE, they're always different. And one of my wife's pet peeves, if we owe something on maintenance, it doesn't show us a balance. And it just irritates the heck out of her, more so than it does me. But that would be the suggestion for Ace and Bennett to take a look at their accounting software. It seems like it's pretty outdated. That would be my suggestion if you're still there, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now.
That was great feedback. Thanks for calling in, Rob.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys. God bless you.
This is definitely one of the more safety tips call-ins than we've had in a while, so I appreciate all the feedback. So let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. Jason's call, or let's draw for our Yeti.
Our Yeti Rambler.
Rambler.
I don't know. It's an awesome Yeti cup.
Rambler.
It is a Rambler, okay.
All right, and Jason has got them all lined up, and our winner
we'll go with this one here.
All right.
See who it is?
Yes.
It's going to be Ramon Rodriguez.
Oh, my gosh. Considering we had two guys with two clean inspections, I thought they had a slightly better chance.
Well, they did. They had one more chance in there.
But just like the NBA lottery, it's all a mystery.
It is all a mystery. So Ramon will get you that cup out.
All right, great. I just want to thank Jerry for joining us. I appreciate his input, all the extra service he does for us as a company and serving on the driver advisory board. Three-time winner driver of the month. Jerry, you just cut above the rest.
Thanks.
All right.
Hey, before we go, I wanted to point out to everybody, too, if you're not aware, Ohio fuel tax goes up 20 cents next week.
Oh, wow. I was not aware of that.
I didn't know that.
Yikes. Good information.
Yep.
All right.
Watch where you find your fuel at.
Yep. So, Jason, was there anything you wanted to close on?
No, just thank all the drivers out there. I definitely appreciate all the calls today. It's great to hear from you guys and be able to deal with some things and issues that we don't normally hear about.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that, and I appreciate you guys calling in.
Some of that was information that I was not aware of and brought it to the light. I appreciate that. I just want to remind everyone, once again, maintenance reports, let's make sure we're getting them in. If you haven't turned them in, you'll be getting a call from someone on my staff here to let's get caught up on that. So once again, thank you for everyone who called in. And I want to thank all of our drivers for the hard work you guys do out there. I appreciate it all. Without your hard work and effort, there's no need for Jason and myself here. So just keep it up, everyone, all right? Thank you.